on the note of Binance, if I can take over for a second.
Yeah, please.
Binance kind of has their own bridge. It's not really a bridge, but Binance issues 94 tokens on Binance Smart Chain that are supposed to be backed by tokens from other chains and things like that. It's basically a bridge, except they're more open about it being administered by Binance. And a few days ago, Bloomberg reported that for dozens of these coins,
Oh, that's right.
they had not been keeping the collateral for them separate and had instead been commingling it with client funds in cold wallets. This comes after Data Innovation confirmed that Binance Peg BUSD, issued onto Binance Chain, was regularly not backed by adequate collateral in the wallet that was supposed to have it. So there's a couple of things going on here that I think are really important to draw attention to, and then something that's kind of related to them and I want to pull us towards. But one, this suggests operational issues and shortfalls because they were not making sure that they had the assets in the right places before these tokens were being issued onto Binance Chain. Two, these assets were being stored in these cold wallets. Binance's proof of reserves that was done in December by Mazars, who no longer does cryptocurrency work, compared the balance in the Binance cold wallets to user liabilities to prove they were fully reserved. These B tokens are not customer liabilities, but the assets for them were stored in these cold wallets. So the assets were overrepresented and the liabilities were underrepresented in this analysis for the proof of reserves. So we've got commingling of client and corporate funds, which is already problematic. We have them having these corporate assets in there for the proof of reserves, and we have them just not having evidence of having adequate collateral for these. And while I was looking into this, I read the Binance Proof of Reserves report again, and I noticed there was 2,150 times as much USDC in reserves as they needed to cover user liabilities. They had about $1 million in total user liabilities and well over 2 billion USDC on hand when this report happened. The reason for this seems to be that they announced they were going to be converting all USDC deposits into BUSD. But they needed to keep enough USDC on hand to be able to service withdrawals and things like that. However, we have issues again. Namely, one, it suggests that they had over $2 billion of unencumbered assets that they were corporate assets that they were able to use to acquire these surplus stablecoins. Because when you hear conversion, what you would expect Binance to do is take the deposited USDC, redeem it, issue BUSD, and have that on hand. But instead, they have billions of dollars in surplus, which means they had to create billions of dollars of extra BUSD without the benefit of being able to redeem that USDC, which suggests Binance has far more liquid unencumbered cash in the banking system than I initially expected. The other problem is that USDC shows up on the proof of reserves again, and there are no customer liabilities in USDC, which means all the USDC they have on hand is corporate funds. They're showing those corporate funds in the proof of reserves again. And as I looked into this even more, I started, all of their corporate funds are likely stored in the Binance wallets. And we know this because if you go back to their own blog posts, specifically the one entitled Transparency on Wallets at Binance, you hear them claim that they hold all of its clients' crypto assets in segregated accounts, which are identified separately from any accounts used to hold crypto assets belonging to Binance. But when you read further down in that same article, you realize they don't mean segregated into a separate account like on the blockchain. They mean they have an internal accounting system that keeps track of how much of the amount in these cold wallets or whatever is client funds and how much is corporate funds. Which again brings us back to two issues. One, the proof of reserves almost certainly contains Binance corporate funds, which were used as assets and not represented as liabilities, which brings into question the claims of solvency that CZ was making after that report was published. Two, the entire ability for that to count as any kind of segregation depends on Binance's ability to maintain accurate internal accounting records, and they had dozens of their B tokens not appropriately managed. They had their flagship Binance Peg BUSD stablecoin not appropriately managed to the tunes of millions and millions and millions of dollars. So their entire claimed segregation of client crypto assets depends entirely on Binance having perfect or very, very good internal accounting records, and the former CFO of Binance reportedly was not allowed to even see the Binance books. The entire thing is fucking bullshit in which you have to place your entire trust into the demonstrated lack of ability for Binance to maintain accurate records.